Hi Blender fans and welcome to Blender.TC. In today's tutorial we'll be making a garden bench. I'm using Blender 2.82 alpha for this, but any 2.8 version will work for this tutorial, but it will work on older versions. You'll just have to follow it. And it's an old wrought iron one. It's a bit clean and painted, but this is what we're going to actually be making today. So this is a quick, easy tutorial. Well, not so quick because there's quite a lot of steps in it, but it's an easy tutorial, but it's not quick. Right, so let's just turn that off. What we've got here is the cube. G key will actually move it all around. Control and Z will center it. If we actually G and X, we'll move it across the red line. Control Z. G and Y, we'll move it front to back, and G and Z, we'll move it up and down. X, delete. Right. So I'm going to use I've just pressed the 1 key on my number pad, and that makes me go into front view, and I'm just going to add an image, and the image I'm going to add is a reference image. Let's just go to one I created earlier, open bench, and it's a chair. As you can see, we've got a picture of a chair there. Please subscribe to Please subscribe to my channel, and like I say, I'm Terry at Blender.TC, and this image is the image that we're going to be using to actually create our chair. I made this myself, but you can use any image you want. Just take a picture with your camera. If you get an interesting garden bench, this could be used for more. Right, what I'm going to use, Window Snipping Tool. I just hit the actual snipping tool. I think that's found on Windows. Put New, grab the image, and this will allow you to actually save it. It asks you when you actually shut it down to save it. Press the S key. Now there you are, and some chat, but you can save it anywhere you want. So cancel. Right, so anyway, I'll just exit this snipping tool. So I'm just going to leave that on the screen for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause it if you want to there, just to see so you can switch on your tool and grab it. So let's begin. Right, so I'm going to click on the actual image, G and Y to move it slightly. Z. G and Y to move it back. And I'm going to hit the 1 key to look from the front. Next thing we're going to add in is we're going to add a mesh, and the mesh we're going to add is a plane. We're seeing the plane from end on there, so I'm going to rotate it in the X direction by 90 degrees by pressing 90 on the board and hit enter. As you can see, we're now in the 1 key and we're looking from the side. So first of all, scale that down by hitting the S key, G to move it to the place you want. Pressing the full stop key will actually, it's full stop or period depending on what you want to call it. I call it the full stop key, and we scale down. I will rotate it because we are looking from the front view. When you rotate something in front view, you're actually only rotating it from that view. So if you look from it from a weird angle, then some really strange things can happen. So always do for this tutorial, everything's done from the front view nearly. Right, so hit the tab key to go into edit mode, and there's 2 ways of actually hitting these. You've got 1, 2, and 3. You've got point select, line select, face select. These also can actually be got by on your keyboard hitting the 1 on the normal set of keys. So 1 takes the point, 2 takes the actual line, and 3 is the face select. So I'm going to hit the 2 key because I want line select, and I'm going to go G, and scale it, and you don't have to be very careful with this, so G, and then E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, and R to rotate. When you've got a join where this is joined onto a different part, then you need to put a line at either side of this, and I'll explain why that's true later. So R to extrude, S to scale if it's not quite big enough, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude. Right. Moving my mouse wheel, actually moves it in and out. E to extrude, R to rotate, G to move it, I'll rotate that a bit further, G to move, E to extrude, and S to scale. And you just keep doing this, following the pattern all the way around. E to extrude, like I say, I'm leaving that gap there, scale, just so I can come down off of that. So E to extrude, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, and S to scale. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is Control R, and what we put is a line in there, left click fixes it, GG to move it down, and I'm moving it there because that's what the actual wooden slats of the actual chair is going to sit on, and I'll explain that in future. But E to extrude on this one now, S to scale, sorry, S to scale, E to extrude. You don't need to be perfect on these things, but the more time you take over it, the better it is. But obviously the more lines you put on, the more vertices there is, so it's plain and happy medium between it. So S to scale, E to extrude, and then where you want a sharp crease, you just need to do a small E extrude, but we'll do that later on. Let's have a look. So press the 1 key, point select, and G. And then go on to line select, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, oopsie daisy, E to extrude, E to extrude, S to scale. If you want to change the actual, say, the width of this when you decide it's wrong or something like that, you can just select the line and S to scale, and it makes it big or small as you want. So like this one, it's a bit too short, so S to scale, and G just to move it into place where I want it, and E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, and I'm going to go on point select just to grab that toe there and just move it out to there. Same with this one, I have put a line in there, so if I go to line select, I'll press the 2 keys, which also selects it on the top of your keyboard, and Control R. Control R is a loop cut, and it puts a loop there. And what I'm going to do is select them 2 points there, and what I'm going to do is right click, and I'm going to put bridge edge loops, and that puts a line between the two, and we can actually select the line, Control R, and I'll just scale that down. Oopsie daisy. Scale it down, move it into place, and scale. Same with that one, Control R to split it, S to scale, G to move. Right, there's the bottom of it. And take that one to the top of it. And I think that one just needs to move down slightly just to execute that kind of shape. And same with this one. Hit the 2 key or select the line. And just Control R. Then go hit the 1 key, just go on to point select. And G, and just move them into correct position. It's just a different way of doing it. The other way I could have done that was just once you get used to the tools, it can make it quicker. All I'm doing is Control Z to actually undo all the, select the line, try that again, E to extrude, and S to scale. It just depends how you want to do things. There's quicker ways, and rotate R by hitting the R key. There's quicker and slower ways to do things, and it depends what you're comfortable with doing. And as you learn blending more and more, you'll actually get different techniques. Control Z. And select that line and select that line. And if you hit the F, that fills in the face. As you can see, we've done that. We've done the legs. We've done the cross beam. We just need to do this top one here. So E to extrude. And I'm going to go on point select because I'm just going to move that down. G. That's to about there. Move that back again to about there. And select that face. E to extrude. Rotate it slightly. Undo that completely because I really mucked that up. E to extrude. R to rotate, and that's just my cat coming in the cat flap. You'll have to excuse the animals, they'll come in and move about. I've got 2 dogs and a cat, but E to extrude, E to extrude, rotate, E to extrude, rotate. The reason we're doing this E and the rotation is that when we actually do the lines or use the Control R, it'll actually follow the lines round like so. You'll see that when I do this in a second, because obviously if we're doing a garden bench we want to do the top rail. So I'm just going to move that down. In fact, don't do that. And hitting the actual full stop or period key gets you closer to what you're actually trying to do. So I'm just zoomed in then by pressing the key, and just going to E to extrude, R to rotate, scale down with the S key, E to extrude, and scale. There we are. And if I actually Control R, Control R, and then move it up slightly. Go on point select because I'm going to move. No, I think I'm going to leave that actually. Yeah, I'll leave that for now. And let's do the scrolls. So what we need to do is go onto there, Control R, and press the 2 key, and maybe press the S key just to scale them down slightly. In fact, no, that's altering it. Control Z, select the 2 lines there. So by holding the Shift key down, select the 2 lines there. GG, you can move multiple lines. That's one of the reasons I'm showing you this. You can move multiple lines. There you go. So the next bit I'm going to do is I'm going to do a E to extrude, and I'm going to put a couple of extrusions there before I start the scroll. So, and same with this one. In fact, I'll move that line. If you press the Alt key down, that selects both of them anyway. So I'll move that down. Control R, I'm going to put a line in there, and then just G and Z just to move it in there. And I'll just hold the Alt key down, press left click, and GG, and move that down there. Right, and let's do the scroll this time. That line's slightly in the wrong place, but I'm going to Control and R, GG, and just by pressing the Alt key, I'm just going to, in fact, select that line that, no, in fact, I'll select that point there, G, G, just to move it itself, move it slightly up, and GG, move that one there. So, select the line, select E to extrude, just extrude slightly, then E to extrude again, and then E to extrude again. The reason I'm putting double lines there is when we actually subdivide it later on, it makes for a cleaner cut. So, trust me, it's a good thing to do. E, R to rotate, S to scale, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, and you just keep following this down. E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, and I'll just keep on doing this because it's time consuming. This is the bit that takes all the time. Hitting the 1 key so I can select that point and just move it down. And line select, and just keep going around this until it's done. I'll just shut up for a minute while I'm doing it, although I don't think that's possible. Scale it down, E to extrude, S to scale, and G, oops, rotate it slightly. And I'm just going to move that down so it's on that line there, I think. And I'll move GG, move that line so it's there. So then I can extrude out from the sides for these bits. And scale, E to extrude, R to rotate, and just keep doing it. R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, scale it down slightly. I'm going to hit the full stop or period to get closer, just so I can see this. And as you can see, I need another couple of lines there, so put that there, and put another one, Control R, GG to move it inside itself, and E to extrude, R to rotate, and G just to move it into place, scale, E to extrude, and that's the tip of it. And then I'm just going to F to put a face with there, and then I'm going to put Control R and left click to fix, just to put the 2 lines in there. Press the 1 key to look from the front again, and I'm just going to move that point there, G, G, and I'm just going to put a face between these 2. F fills in a face, and if I select that line, press R and then the 2 key, I can put 2 faces between there. It's just a different way of doing it. And E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, and I'm just going to select that line up there, and E to extrude, S to scale, R to rotate, G to move, And I'm just going to put a face between them two as well. That looks pretty odd, but what I'll do is GG, just to, in fact no, just G on its own, just to move it round. And I'm just going to move that one round to make it a bit more squarer. And then E to extrude. R to rotate, E to extrude. Very time consuming this, but it's quite a good effect once it's done. Don't know about you. And today is another COVID-19 day. So I'm looking for things to do. I'll do my daily exercise in a minute, but and obviously I'm in England because we're still allowed to go out in England at the minute. Very strange times. Prime Minister in hospital. Hopefully he'll get better. So, and I'm just putting a couple of loops there, which will help us later on. And I'm just going to select these edges here and G, and just move them out like so. And move them like that, and G to move them out like so. And what I'm going to do is select that edge there. E. That's the importance of putting the two edges on the thing. It means you can separate things. So just step back a little bit. R to rotate. E to extrude. R to rotate. G. E to extrude. R to rotate. G. And oops, I'm just going to move that over. What I did then, I held the shift button down and the central mouse button, which allows you to move things around if you don't already know in Blender, but it's quite a common function, so that's one of the reasons I haven't mentioned it before. GG, GX, just to move that over. Yeah, just checking I'm moving it in the correct direction. And I'm just going to F to fill them, and I'm going to put two loops between them as well. So Control R, two loops, and then E to extrude, R to rotate, 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 E to extrude. So you don't have to be exact with this thing, you know, sometimes it's a little bit better not to be honest. If you don't get caught up in the idea that everything's got to be perfect. Control R. And it does mean that every model's slightly different because you're not following a pattern. So we've got the top scroll done. All we've got to do is this bottom scroll now. So E to extrude, S to scale. I'm just going to select that edge and put Control R and press the 2 key. You can also have the same effect by using the mouse, and that's all it's doing is put two lines in there. So E to extrude. In fact, what I'm going to do is E to extrude. So I'm going to let my dog out. E to extrude, S to scale. Press the record key again. I'm sure there's a glitch in here and it actually takes my recordings off, but The number of times you start these and then halfway through you look at it and it's gone. R to rotate, G, and then we scale it down. GG. And the thing I use for actually recording is called a Vidimux, I think. Or is it called something else? No, sorry, it's OBS Studio that I've been using. So, rotate. The Vidimux is the video editor, and Audacity is used for sound. If you're interested. Rotate, B to extrude, R to rotate, and G, let's just move that down there, and scale that. Alright, for this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on point select like so, and I'm just going to to extrude a line across there, and then that means that I've got a line that I can actually extrude from there. So S to scale, E, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, S to scale, and then let's see, just select that line, and F to fill, and now I'm going to put two lines between them as normal. Control R, and 2. That makes it a lot easier, see the two lines are still between it. It's just that hitting the 2 key just actually enables you to actually know you've done it without actually having quite a bit of a problem. So, right. Point select by hitting the 1 key or clicking up there. So select the right point. And G, I'm just going to move these back. So I didn't like the way they were turning. So E to extrude, R to rotate. I'll just carry on doing this. To rotate. Scale. E to extrude, R to rotate, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, S to scale. So I'm singing away, and then scale. G, E. Alright, select these two lines. Fat now. I'm going to do top scrolls. Now, need to extrude. C, E, R to rotate, S to scale. Put a double line in there as well. 2 lines. Just found out that works quite well. And S to scale. E, R, S to scale. Getting hungry, guys. S to scale. E, R, S to scale. E. Let's get a drink of coffee. Oh, that's better. Where am I? Oh yeah, I'm at the end there. E, S, E, R, S to scale, and you just keep on going like this. Like I say, you ain't got to be exact. Scale it down. G. I'll do the same on this one. So Select a point there, E to extrude, gives me the line to go on, and then follow it back up here. R to rotate, and G, E, I could do another line up. Okay. Not bugger, sorry. Oops. Control R. Control R. GG. And then just put F, put a face between that. Control R. And then just, oh, we're doing the same thing over and over again. It just makes me wonder whether I should put this in time lapse. Please leave a comment and tell me if I should. Or does it give you plenty of practice by me keep telling you E to extrude, R to rotate, S to scale, and G to move. So it's fun to make these tutorials, but sometimes some of the things you have to do are very repetitive, and there's probably an easier way to do this, but I think you learn more from actually doing it about modelling than you would do, and no doubt there's an add-on to it to make this shape from, but I do like add-ons, but there's nothing like actually doing this yourself, and I find it very, very relaxing to do as well. So all I'm doing now is I'm going to put a little line at the end of each one of these. Control R, GG. It just gives you a different look later on, because what we're doing is not going to go right to the end of each one of these scrolls. So, and there we have it. We've got a, oh no, we haven't. I've missed a bit. This bit in between. So hit the 1 key. Let's add these. So, E. And I'm just going to put Control and R. So on there. Hit the 2 key, so 2 joins between them. And then E to extrude. E to extrude. What I'm doing here is I'm keeping everything in quads because it's easier later on, because I'm wanting some lines to go around things. So E to extrude, Control R, and triangles will stop a loop cut in its tracks. It just does. So, right, I'm going to show you the thing. You've got 2 places here. I want to bridge these, but if you press F3, it fetches up this menu, and if you type grid fill, it makes a total mess of it, but it doesn't normally. But I right click and I'll just bridge edge loops these. So there you have, I've just bridged them, and I'm just going to grab that face, that face. That face, that face, that face, and I'm just going to scale them out. In fact, no, not. I'm just going to grab that face, and I'm going to grab that face, grab that face, grab that face, grab that face. Do it slightly different this time. I'm going to extrude. Extrude edges. No, I'm not. Tell you what. If I grab all these faces, I thought there's extrude along normals, but extrude along normals, no. All these effects come up when you press right click, and there's lots of things that actually help you out, but I'm just going to extrude. I'll do them separately, just get shape. This will become quite apparent why I'm doing this later on. There we are, we've got it, we've got the basic shape of the chair. So it's not very pretty and everything, and it's got no depth to it, and there's no arms. So let's just now go and add these features. Right, so first of all, I'm going to select all by pressing the A key, and I'm going to extrude by pressing the E key, by extrude Y by 0.1. And as you can see, that's made it thicker by 0.1. Right, so, and then I'm going to grab this edge here. If you press the Alt key down, if you're on face select, press the Alt key down. I've now selected all of those edges and round the other side. But what I don't want is I don't want that edge there. So holding the Shift key allows you to deselect edges. There you go. So I've deselected the edges. And I'm going to extrude along the normals by pressing the right key. Extrude faces along normals by 0.1 minus. In fact, I'm just going to actually press the S key by Y, and I'm just going to pull it out to what I think looks about right, which is about there, and I'm just going to leave it there. Same with the base here. I'm going to press the Alt key, which selects us all faces like that. So I'm going to deselect this by holding the Shift on that edge and the back edge here. In fact, now I've done that wrong completely, because all we want now is the actual edge that the wood attaches to. So I'm going to select that face there, hold the Control key down, and just click partly across the thing here, and it follows the line. And then E and Y, and just pull it out to where I think I like the look of it. And that's it, we've got the place for the wooden slats. Next, what we want to do is I'd like these scrolls here to actually be slightly bigger, so I'm going to press the Alt key down, select the edge there, select the edge there, select the edge there, and what I'm going to do is extrude across the normals and make it slightly bigger. There we go. I think that'll do on that side, and same on this one here. So Alt key down, hold the Shift key and Alt key, just multiple select, E to extrude, and S to scale. And then I'm going to grab this edge here, Control R, press the 2 key, which splits that, and then what I'm going to do is face select, select that, pressing the Alt key down. What happens, it does the shortest route between two, so if you actually put that there by pressing Control key down and left clicking, then you see it goes where you don't want it. So left click just to select the face, and then you have it follow your mouse. So, and what I'm going to do is select those, and I'm pressing, no, in fact I haven't done all the scrolls, so Control R on that line, press the 2 key, and we'll just subdivide all these scrolls first. Control R by 2, and same on this one, Control R and 2. I'll go back to the top scroll and show you what I'm doing now. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this line in the centre on both of these, and for some reason I've subdivided that by too many. As you can see, we've got an extra line there we don't want in the middle. Right, there's an easy way to get rid of this, because you make mistakes like this from time to time. Press the Alt key like that, and then press the End key, go into Tools, Options, and you can put Auto Merge, and then GG, and that will get rid of the line for me. All it's done is move that line into the other line, and because they're over the same spot, they disappear. Right. I'm going to take that back off because it can be very dangerous, but N will shut that menu back down. So what I'm going to do is go and face select, Control, move it round, and I'm making sure, see, I've selected them in the middle, I don't want to select them, so Control Z to undo, hold the Shift key down, select the one on the other thing, and then hit the Control key again and press left click to continue with. And what I'm going to do is press the Shift key down to grab that one. And as you can see, I'm just grabbing all these. Shift key down again, and press the Control key and left click. And then I'm going to extrude these by, extrude along normals by 0.2. It's done it in the wrong direction, so I'm going to put minus, which makes it stick out. And it's up to you. You can have them going in or going out. It's entirely up to you. It's just different effects. So same again. I'm going to select these edges. Control Z. Hold the Shift key down to start, and Control to follow it round. Selected those. I'm going to hold the Shift key down. Just means I can do them all together, but you can do them all individually if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. So Shift key down. So we've done them on that side. So E 0.2, just let me see if this works. Minus, did that too much. E 0.02 minus. And it's up to you how far you want your scrolls to actually stick out. I'm just having mine stick out slightly, and I'm going to do the same on the other side, so I'm just going to do that quickly now. So all I'm doing is selecting that image. I'm going to hide that image now, so like that, back into edit mode, and there we go. Let's just go through and just do these scrolls quickly. Control Z. Why is that not working? Control. That's better. Even the best of us. Shift. Try and do something quickly, and you fail completely. There we go. E.2. Wrong way. E.2 minus. Oh, it's stuck out too far. E.02 minus. That's what I'm doing them to, but you could do it 0.3 or whatever you wanted, or however pronounce your thingy, because that makes your chair unique. Now, it's entirely up to you. So, extrude E.02 minus to make it stick out. The only thing I will do is some of these edges I want to be sharp, so I'm going to put Control R and move that edge to there. Control R, GG, move that. I'm sorry, GG, move that edge to there. So I want these edges to be sharp when I subdivide it. Same along the side of there. So I just want that to be a sharp edge. So GG, and I think I'll put Control R. I'm going to put a line across the centre of the edge just so it sticks out on this particular chair. So extrude along normals. You can just move your mouse button and extrude it out as far as you want, and there you have it. We've got a chair, and that looks rubbish, doesn't it? Yeah, looks absolutely rubbish. There's a couple of things we've got to do. So add a modifier. In fact, let's add a colour first, just so we can see it better. So I'm going to add a colour to it, and the colour I'm going to add in is like a greeny colour, maybe a bit darker. And let's move that up slightly. Now I'm going to get a bit of a metallic look because it's gloss plate paint. Take the roughness down, make it nice and shiny. And what I've done there is I've actually gone onto, what do they call it? Viewport shading, just shows you what it looked like. And it's still very chunky. And here's the magic. Add a modifier. And let's make it a bit lighter colour so it's easier to see against this grey background. Right then. Add a modifier, subdivide surface, change that to 2 on both of them, and voila! That's it. We've got our chair. The only thing is we haven't added smooth shading, so select the chair, smooth shade it, and there you have it. That's part of the chair. Alt H and G. In fact, we don't need that image no more, so I'm going to X and delete that image. I'm going to G and Y that, move that over there. Apply the subdivision. And then add a mirror modifier. In fact, we're going to add an empty first. Mesh, add an empty. And I'm going to use a sphere for the empty. So this is now going to actually mirror around this empty. So select the actual chair arm. Select the chair arm. Add modifier. Mirror. On the Y. And we want it to mirror around the empty. There we go. Now got a garden chair. All that's missing now is the wooden slats. I'm not going to actually teach you to suck eggs really, so scale that down. Scale by the X. Make your wooden slats about the right thickness, so scale on the X. Scale on the Z to make them thinner. Scale on the Z. And then scale them in the Y direction, make them longer, and move them to it's in the right spot. And then you G, then Z, move it into the right place. And it's just a case of actually duplicating that to actually make the actual scale. X, Control and D, G, X, let's see, Shift and D duplicates, G and X, and then you just keep moving them into right positions and rotating them just so the see, control Z, rotating the X direction. Just what the hell's that doing? Oh yeah, rotating the Y direction. So it just follows that curve. G and Z. Shift and D. And you can add wood textures to this, so you can actually make it see, you know, add a wood texture. Or anything you want, sort of thing. So G and X. Control and D, G, X. Right. Shift D, duplicate. Left to fix it. G and X. Rotate it round the Y. As you can see, I'll just give me a minute, I'll just do this myself. 50D. And all I'm doing is following that curve there. Shift and D, G and X, R to rotate, Z, R and Y to rotate, G and Z to move it up into the right position, and you just keep following it round. And if you wanted to be really realistic, I suppose you could actually add nuts and bolts, and if you want to be really realistic, you could add nuts and bolts into this wood. You see, add a wooden texture, add a bit of scruffing up using your texture paint, and just keep playing around with it so you can make this look very, very real. But this is just showing you how to actually do the modelling. G, X. If you do want to texture paint something, I mean, this Grant-Abbott, that's Grant-Abbott, if you just Google him, or look him up on G and X, he's very good at doing painted textures. So, D, and that's something I've got to learn myself, so. At G and X. He's fantastic at doing it. Normally does game models for the Command and Conquer type games, I think. G and Z. Nearly there. D. G and Z. Right. Just doing this all by eye, obviously, but you get the idea. And there you have it. We've got a chair, just give the actual thing a nice brown colour. There's new, make it brown. There we go. And just select all of them. Quickly join them all together by pressing the join key. There you are, one garden bench with scrolls. And it's entirely up to you how much patterning you put on things. I think you agree, that's quite a good garden bench. Please subscribe to Blender TC. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'm just going to add a bit of a ground plane here. G and C. Scale it down. G and C. Add a sun in. Now the back legs are above the ground, but that's can be quickly. I'll just join them together. Right, and apply that modifier. So select them legs, apply the modifiers, join that to that. Look from the side and rotate it in the Y direction. So that's it. And if we add in a sun mesh, right, add in a sun, and rotate the sun. So, and if you look in render, as you can see, we've got two suns in the sky, but let's just delete that one. So, yeah, we've got our chair. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe. Join me next time. Oh, another thing. If you actually wanted to make these shorter, you see, you'd have a chair. So if you actually put these closer together, you could make little chairs, and you could make a little garden table. Make something like 4 chairs and a table. That's another tutorial. Please subscribe.